So we're live. All right, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. A beautiful day here in South Haven. This is our week 3, and tonight we're going to talk about water safety with Heather Johnson. Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk a little bit louder tonight because we have Bluetooth mics here. Thank you, Topher, for trying to get us all set up. So we're at the lower level tonight for the next 45 minutes of Black River Tavern. If you haven't been here yet, you need to come down here and check out the river bottom. It is an exceptional menu of Turkish and Mediterranean food. It's really great that South Haven actually has a restaurant like this in town. And it's an intimate area. There's lounges, there's couches. You come check it out. And I think they're open on Thursdays through Saturdays. I believe that's the hours. But double check on their site. They'll tell you more. But get into things tonight. We're going to talk about, SHAPE and Heather's involvement with that and water safety and what we can look forward to in the city of South Haven coming up here and hopefully the other communities and work together with them. So with that, Heather Johnson, why don't you tell us a little bit about SHAPE?
Sure. So SHAPE is South Haven Ambassadors Program in Education. We're a 501(c) nonprofit organization that started after the 4 drowning deaths last year. All happened on yellow flags, and that made us the deadliest Great Lakes beach out of all 5 Great Lakes. So I decided to do something about it as somebody who's local. I've been born and raised here, and I see the uptick in those drownings, so something needs to be done, and I haven't been seeing a lot of anything be done. So I looked up who are the leaders in Great Lakes water safety, and that came up as Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project. And so I reached out to Dave and Bobby, and they run the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project, and asked them, how can I help? What can I do? And they said, start an ambassadorship. So that's what I did.
And it actually goes great. SHAPE, goes all the time. Now, SHAPE stands for South Haven Ambassadors Program in Education.
Yep.
Which, what you do, I know the acronym very easily. Sometimes I mix up some words, but we know that it all has to do with water safety. Yep. Your involvement, your volunteerism, which has been helpful, and the growing amount of support has been wonderful we're seeing in the community. So what are we looking for? What are some ideas that you're trying to implement and the community is trying to get going for the education and water safety movement?
So with the water safety movement, we're actually looking at trying to fund or help the city devise plans on added water safety tools down at the lakeshore and how we can implement that and get the city on board with implementing that. We've been talking about life rings along the shoreline because, as you know, if we're down by the blue stairs, we can't run to the pier in a timely manner to grab a life ring. We have to rely on whatever we have with us in order to try to help our loved ones if they're in distress in the water. So we've been working on doing that with the educational process. We're building a lot of educational informational videos. I've seen a lot from Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project, so I don't want to take that away from them. Definitely check out their website for those informational educational videos because they're incredible. So I've just been kind of expanding and reaching out to other nonprofit organizations to try to build our educational process. But we do have brochures that we hand out on the lakeshore when we're talking to beachgoers.
Another thing I know is Mandy and some other walkers with us on the Saturday morning C213K walks, the entire walkway down the channel out to the pier, there's no life rings on either side. So if you fell in, there's hardly any ladders. I'm not sure how somebody would get out besides swimming out to the rocks.
Exactly.
Or going all the way out. So that's some things that normal locals who are starting to walk and see certain things, they're starting to look for these things now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's becoming a really big topic of conversation, which is all we can ask for. And that's why we share as much as we share and we talk about it as much as we talk about it with all of our friends and family, is so that way that conversation spreads like a ripple effect.
Nice. So as we've got that going on, what do you see some outlooks ahead coming up that you're going to see, whether it's state, local, regional help, federal help?
We just announced today that our chapter of SHAPE with Hollins Park Township has gone live. So they are looking for volunteers. We're looking for ambassadors in Hollins Park Township to walk the Hollins State Park beaches. The Michigan DNR is on board with our program, and we're really full steam ahead on that. And so we were really excited to be able to launch that today. And then we have some pretty exciting things that might be coming down from the state level as well that I just learned about between my meeting with some of the governor's assistants and representatives' assistants this past week. So.
And that's coming up how soon?
Very,
know?
very soon.
Very soon, okay.
We don't have a timeline yet, but it'll be coming soon for sure.
Okay, now here's a hot topic. Like I was asking. Lifeguards.
Yes.
So I grew up, they had lifeguards when I was growing up here. St. Joe and a few other communities still have lifeguards. We were always told that we can't have lifeguards because the lawsuits are so much higher if you have a lifeguard on duty and you're still drowning. And I see both sides of the story, but you've delved into this and you've seen what's going on. Explain to me on lifeguards.
So there's definitely a stigma. There's the conversation that, oh, we don't want our teenage kids running the lifeguarding program. Well, we don't either. We want somebody that is seasoned, that has had extensive training, that knows what they're doing. We want them out there. Sure, bring on the teenagers as junior lifeguards that aren't going in the water, but spreading education. We can absolutely employ them. But with a lifeguarding program, you want people who are seasoned and who are very, very trained. And then there's also the stigma of liability, as you said. And I have, overheard conversations where liability is the same whether you have lifeguards or whether you don't. And there's certain attorneys that have made that very clear to, city officials and things like that. And so that stigma is very, very, very false. And we want to get that information out there to people so those conversations can be had in an educated way.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the biggest thing is we're seeing the name get out there more. Are you seeing the support from the city and the planning and other members of the city that are involved with different committees? Are they helping getting on board? What are you really seeing?
I introduced SHAPE to City Council. I went to a City Council meeting. I don't go to many because that's not my cup of tea. But I did go just so that I could introduce SHAPE to them and let them know that what we are out here doing, so that there weren't any questions later. And I have seen, Jen Sistrunk with the Visitors Bureau. She's come out. She's a very big supporter for us. She's actually helped me with a lot of questions that I've had pertaining to the city and the code ordinances and things like that. But then I've seen, Kate came out and met with a couple of people who own the Rip Rider, which is a technology that will map the rip currents, so that way we can give some kind of a warning system to beachgoers when they are visiting our beaches so that they'll know what parts of the beaches to stay away from, and it would block those parts of the beaches off from beachgoers going in. And it's all AI technology training, and so she came out, she wrote a letter of recommendation for that, because they are looking for funding from the National Science Foundation in order to fund that. So she came out and she met with us out on the pier as well for that. But other than that, I have seen Kate there and really spread that educational awareness just by standing out under a booth all day and talking to people that are passing by. And it's been great.
And I've noticed downtown shops have been great. Toes in the sand days, red flag days, come in and shop. Mm-hmm. So it seems like the citizens are doing more and saying we're not going to wait, we're going to start protecting, because we do. We're a destination town on the shoreline, and our whole thing is we invite everyone here to play. Mm-hmm. We have a duty to make sure people are safe when they're coming here and educate them ways we can.
Yeah.
I see where it's going. I hope we get some more of our council and planning and other community people involved, because it's obvious the community is wanting something done.
It's very obvious just by their involvement with me and with my organization and what we're doing with that this summer. It shows the community really wants something in place, whether it be the educational program, lifeguards, or something along those lines. They really, really, really want this.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So if somebody wants to get involved and they just want to learn more, how can people learn more and how actually help out and spread the awareness of this?
Yeah, so I ask my ambassadors, we have about 15 ambassadors right now, and I always ask them, share the Facebook posts. Share everything that you can on all of your social media platforms, because Anybody who's on your social media platform is going to see everything that you're posting. They're going to see what you're liking. They're going to see what you're loving. And that way it can get that awareness out there a little bit more. Even when you're not on social media and you're out enjoying the lake or you're enjoying the shops, talk about it. There are people that are overhearing your conversations when you're out shopping in town, and they will actually stop you and ask you, hey, what is that you're talking about? You know, or if you're standing and scanning a QR code at one of the things to do flyers all over town, then stop and tell somebody about it. Hey, did you know about this? Check this out. You know, a quick, grab of a passerby like that, it can do wonders. So that's what we ask people to do when they're talking about spreading education, whether it be my program or anything else that they're passionate about. And that's the first and foremost thing that they can do.
Awesome. Well, thank you much. Heather, anything else you want to tell anybody out there?
Stay safe. Wear your life jackets. Always, always, always wear your life jackets. Parents, take a life jacket with you, even if you're not going to wear it down at the lake. Take it with you. Leave it by your feet. Take a whistle with you so that you can hear, or that the kids can hear while they're in the waves in order to come out when those flags change. Definitely turn around in your beach chairs when you're down there and check out those flags every now and again to make sure that those aren't changing on you when you don't know it. The conditions can change in a matter of seconds down there, and it's very, very dangerous. So, but we want you to have fun. We want you to come here. We want you to have a great time in South Haven and enjoy yourselves, but we want you all to go home as a family, not somebody missing.
And they can find SHAPE on Facebook?
Yes, absolutely. Find SHAPE on Facebook. We're SHAPE, South Haven Ambassadors Program and Education. And then on our website at sohaambassadors.wixsite.com.
Nice. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Heather.
You're welcome. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, that was a great water safety. Like I said, I am running on 3 things. Number 1, housing, jobs, infrastructure, and water safety. Those are 3 main things that I see going forward that we have to tackle first, and then we can go after everything else. You can't do 800 things at once because you only get out so far. You get things done, and then you move on to the next one. So what I'm looking forward is action. Number 1, like I said, water safety, get out there, get some information, signage, alertness, knowledge, lifeguards, if we can get that. The Emily thing that we saw this spring was a great thing. It was a remote control lifeboat that you shoot right off the pier, and they showed a 5-year-old running it, could handle it, which is nice. I don't know if I knew a 5-year-old doing it, but it showed how easy it was. But as for jobs, we want to make sure that we have to turn into that community that turns into a, yes, how can we help you grow your business? How can we help you support a startup? Right now, the attitude in our community when you talk to business people and you talk to locals is it's a no, automatic no, and you tell us why we should help you. We got to flip that around. We have to be a welcoming community for those who work from home, those who want to start a business. We want to be the incubator community that's going to foster new businesses and help grow them here and put down their roots for many years to come. The other thing, too, for housing, I really want to work and get our infrastructure under cost. Again, Saugatuck Douglas, $5,600 for a water and sewer hookup. Kalamazoo is $3,000. Stevensville, St. Joe, Ben Harbor is only $1,850. Look at those numbers. And in South Haven's $23,000. $23,000 if it's on your side of the road. If it's on the other side of the road, it's now $32,000 to hook up the water and sewer. There's no way you're going to have any kind of attainable housing here for young families until we get that fixed. And we've had, the last meeting here, we had a gentleman who's on the Water and Sewer Authority, and he said he's been here a year, and he can't figure out where the money's going. It's time we go back in, we audit that system, find out where the costs are, and get those costs down. Until we do that, we can talk about affordable housing, attainable housing, apartments. It's not going to change. So we got to make the hard decisions, and it's going to take time, and we got to get it done. When I say take time, I mean get it going, and you should be able to resolve that in 1 year. It shouldn't take multiple terms of people in office telling you they're working on it. We don't need to keep doing committee meeting after committee meeting after another report. We've had tons of them. Ryan Kilpatrick, it came in before COVID, gave a great presentation of what we needed. Tiny homes, ADUs, townhouses, duplexes, different updates to the zoning. And then he came back in and did it again last year, and it was the same thing post-COVID, and we still haven't updated our archaic zoning. That's planning. Planning needs to work on that. Council, city manager, mayor needs to push on that. Citizens, you need to push your city to work on this. So those are things we have to work at. We work on that in our community, keep moving forward. We will bring in the younger families, the young professionals, the next generation that's going to take care of our community. That's what we want. And then we also need to work on some other costs, like our electrical costs, our utility costs, all those together. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your time tonight. Heather, thank you very much for all you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have a great one. Don't forget, we have August 8th as our primary. I'm Ryan Servatius, running for City Council, Ward 2. So I would definitely appreciate your vote, and I look forward to representing this town that I grew up in and love. All right, thank you. You guys have a great night.